In the quiet fields of the remote ranch, the yellow sunlight spread across the dust-covered paths. Against the wind that rattled the roots of the large wooden doors, a small cabin stood, and inside it, the girl stood calmly, a knife in her hands, slicing green vegetables with the tip of the blade. Her silence, the skill hidden in every movement, and the gentle light in her eyes brought a strange calm to the room. The door suddenly creaked open, and the rancher stepped in. The thud of his boots echoed against the wooden floor, and his strong arms were crossed. He stood in the cabin, his gaze lingering on her as he smiled, a smile that held both pride and curiosity. The girl didn't pause her work, nor did she look at him. She remained absorbed in her quiet focus. "You've been very quiet lately," he said, his voice firm and controlled. "Are you shy or just stubborn?" She kept chopping the vegetables and replied, "I don't talk much, sir, but I cook very well." Her words piqued his interest. He stepped closer slowly, his presence forming a warm, almost tangible pressure around her. She felt a slight stiffness, but continued her work. Every movement of hers radiated confidence and self-assurance, intentionally displayed before him. "So you were chosen as my wife just because you can cook," the rancher said with a soft chuckle, the edges of his smile softening. "Then you must really be important." She set down the knife and looked at him, sharp and sly. "If that's the reason, then I suppose I really am valuable." Her voice carried a hint of humor, and she sent him a silent challenge with her gaze. He answered, "One who works is important. You're clever, and you handle everything calmly. That's the greatest strength." The kitchen was filled with the aroma of cooking. He placed his hand on a pot nearby, close enough for her to feel his presence, but not touching her. She steadied her heartbeat and resumed her work. A silent tension grew between them. Both were drawn to each other's quiet focus and attention, yet neither dared take the first step. Over the next few days, this became a routine. He would go out early to tend to the grass while she prepared breakfast inside. Occasionally, he would walk by the window to admire her work, and she would just nod slightly in acknowledgement. Words were few, but their glances and subtle gestures spoke volumes. One day, soft raindrops fell outside. The small droplets trickled from the kitchen roof, tapping the wooden beams with a gentle rhythm. She stood behind him, and he could feel her presence. Then he suddenly asked, "Have you ever felt lonely here? This ranch, this life, it must feel strange to you." She washed a bowl and replied, "Maybe, but even in silence, there is peace. And cooking, it's a kind of conversation for me too." He smiled, "You're really strange. But being strange is good. Strange people are remembered the most." There was a softness in his voice, a hidden interest not usually visible in his stern demeanor. Weeks later, the day came when the girl fell ill. Her eyes were tired and weak, yet she still stood in the kitchen, spoon in hand. The rancher reached out himself and prepared soup for her, slowly, without a hint of pride. His gentle hands, the warm steam rising from the food, and the silent care completed the moment. For the first time, the girl realized that this rancher was not just harsh. There was a heart that saw, understood, and cared. At night, sitting by the fire, he suddenly said, "You are quiet, but I understand every step, every glance, every thought of yours. This is your way, and I like it." She nodded gently, her silence reflecting acceptance and trust. Thus began a slow, quiet, but profound bond. They began to understand each other's silence, habits, and subtle gestures. The rancher's rough temperament softened, and in the girl's quiet strength, he found peace. Becoming a part of each other's lives, without grand words, became the most beautiful moments. And in the dusty skies of that remote ranch, two hearts drew closer, igniting the first spark of a silent love, understanding that sometimes words are not necessary. Simply seeing and feeling each other is enough.